Good morning, first grade. Today, we are going to dive into another text study lesson. This is going to be our third and final day reading another short informational text about types of storms. And then after today, we'll move on to something a little bit different. So, for today, our job once again is going to be answering questions about an informational text. So, when I answer questions, I've got three main thinking steps that I need to do. My first thinking step is figuring out what the question is asking me. And that's when I look at my handy dandy, beautiful, artistic question words anchor chart. So, taking a look at this, I know that when I'm asking a who question, I need to answer with a person. If the question's asking me what, I answer with a thing. When, I answer with a time. Where, I answer with a place. Why, a reason. How, a way. All right, so knowing that, I'm going to hang this up behind me. It's going to be a little small again. I'm sorry. We're going to do our best with it as we answer our questions today. Okay, so that's my first thinking step. My second thinking step is to think, where in the text can I find my answer? So I need to be thinking, where in the text did I find a key detail that's related to that question? Was it in the beginning, the middle, the end? Was it in a specific chapter, specific part of the text, right? Because I'm not going to waste my time going back and rereading the entire story again. So that's why I really need to be paying attention while I'm reading, underlining those key details so that I can flip back to them quickly. My third and final step is to actually do the work of going back in the text and rereading to find my answer. I'm never just going to guess what my answer is. I'm always going to go back, even if I think I have a pretty good idea, and just double check by rereading that part of the text. All right, you're going to watch me practice doing this in our favorite storms book. So if my question is, why can't you see in a blizzard? Why can't you see in a blizzard? My first step is to figure out what the question is asking. It's a why question. So I'm going to go back to my chart. Why is looking for a reason. So I know that when I answer this question, I need to be answering with a reason. If I answer this question with a thing or with a place, right, that's not going to be the right answer to the question because it's a why question. So my answer has to match the question type. Okay, now I'm going to think where in the text I need to go back to find my answer. The question again, why can't you see in a blizzard? So the question is about blizzards, right? And I remember that my storms book is organized by types of storms. So I'm going to go back to the table of contents, find where it says blizzard, and flip to page 18. My answer is going to be somewhere on this chapter about blizzards. Now I can reread. So remember my question again, why can't you see in a blizzard? I'm looking for a reason why people can't see in a blizzard. All right, listen while I reread. Blizzard. Snowflakes fall from very cold clouds. A cold wind blows the snow so hard you cannot see in front of you. Snowflakes are ice crystals. In a blizzard, there are billions and trillions of snowflakes. All right, so I just read a lot of details about blizzards. If I were to answer my question with, here's a detail about blizzards. In blizzards, there are billions of snowflakes. Is that giving me a reason? Is that just giving me a thing, right? If I said, let's see, snowflakes are ice crystals. Oh wait, that's true also. That's not giving me a reason, right? If I said, you cannot see in front of you because the wind blows the snow so hard, is that a reason? Yes, right? A reason has to be a because statement. And so my answer has to match the why question. Why can't you see in a blizzard? Because a cold wind blows the snow so hard that you cannot see in front of you. All right, Kipsters, did you see how I matched my answer to the question word, thought where to look in the text for my answer, and then reread to find my answer? All right, it's about to be your turn. We're going to take a look at one more short text, just a couple of pages long. This is the only picture, so take a good look. It's called A Time of Dust Storms. A Time of Dust Storms. So here we've got the picture of a dust storm, a house let's read to find out more about what dust storms are. Right? Remember that while we're reading, your only job right now is just to listen, but also think in your brain for anything that stands out as maybe a really important detail that we might need to come back to later. All right, a time of dust storms. A long time ago, wind and dust caused big problems in the United States. Giant clouds of dust harmed people, animals, and crops in the central part of the country. The area became known as the Dust Bowl. The problem started when farmers planted more crops than they could sell. The next year, those farmers decided to leave some land empty. The farmers let their cattle graze there, and the cattle ate the grass. Soon, nothing grew on that land. Then came a drought. A drought is a long period without rain. Land became very dry. Grass and crops barely grew. Very little was left to hold the soil in place. At the same time, strong winds started blowing. The winds blew layers of soil into the air. Dust covered everything. People had to protect themselves from the dust. Children wore masks and goggles when they walked to school. They used the masks so they would not breathe in dust and get sick. People hung wet sheets over their windows to prevent dust from blowing into their homes. Finally, the rains returned. Farmers could plant crops again. The farmers learned to plant in different places to protect the soil. They also planted grasses to keep the soil in place. All right, hipsters. So we just read a lot about dust storms. Now our job is going to be to answer a few questions about the text using our thinking steps. All right, that was a lot of information, but we were really paying attention, so we're going to be able to crush these questions if we follow those steps. First question, what problems were caused by wind and dust? What problems were caused by wind and dust? All right, so it's a what question. What am I looking for? What should my answer be if I'm asked a what question? Get ready to call it out in 3, 2, 1. Exactly, I'm looking for a thing. And specifically, what problems were caused by wind and dust? I'm looking for a problem. It tells me that right in the question, what my answer should be. My answer should be a problem. If it's asking me what problems, my answer is one of those problems. Okay, where in the text did it talk about the problems caused by wind and dust? Do you remember? Is it the beginning, the middle, or the end? Call it out. 3, 2, 1. If you said beginning, you were absolutely right. The text tells us about the problems wind and dust cause right in this very first paragraph. So let's reread. When you hear the problems caused by wind and dust, I want you to wiggle your fingers at me, okay? A long time ago, wind and dust caused big problems in the United States. Ooh, I already see some of you wiggling your fingers at me. But listen again, did that sentence tell me what the problems were, or did it just tell me that there were problems? A long time ago, wind and dust caused big problems in the United States. See, that sentence just told me that there were problems, but it didn't tell me what they were. Let's keep reading. Giant clouds of dust harmed people, animals, and crops in the central part of the country. Now I should be seeing you wiggling your fingers at me, right? Because that sentence told me what the problems were. The clouds of dust, they hurt people, animals, and crops, which remember, crops are plants that farmers plant, right? That farmers grow. So the dust was hurting people, it was hurting animals, and it was hurting the plants. Those were the problems caused by the wind and dust. Good job, hipsters. All right, next question. When did the dust problem start? When did the dust problem start? Okay, it's a when question, hipsters. When I'm asking a when question, what should my answer be? Get ready to call it out in 3, 2, 1. Nice job. A when question should be answered with a time. All right, so this question, I need to think where in the text to find my answer. It wasn't in this first paragraph, but it was right here in the middle of the text, so I'm going to read it now. Remember, when you hear a time that the dust problem started, I want you to touch your nose, all right? The area became known as the Dust Bowl. The problem started when farmers planted more crops than they could sell. Ooh, I already see friends touching their nose. Let's keep reading. The next year, those farmers decided to leave some land empty. The farmers let their cattle graze there, and the cattle ate the grass. Soon, nothing grew on that land. Now I see everyone touching their nose, right? That whole paragraph told us when the dust problem started. It didn't give us a very specific time, but it did still tell us when, right? It said the problem started when farmers planted more crops than they could sell. They planted too many things, right? And then the next year, which is another time, right? The next year, the farmers left the land empty. Interesting. All right, nice job, Kipsters. One last question to test our brains. Last question. Why were farmers able to plant crops again? Why were farmers able to start planting again? So it's a why question. What should my answer include? What should my answer be for a why question? Get ready to call it out in 3, 2, 1. Nice job. It should be a reason. It should be that because statement, right? Why were farmers able to plant crops again? Where in the text does it talk about them starting to plant again? Does it talk about that in the beginning, the middle, or the end? Call it out. If you said the end, you're absolutely right, right? That was the end of the story because that was the solution to their problem. They were able to start planting crops again. All right, but we need to figure out why. So listen for that reason why they were able to start planting again. And when you hear it, I want you to tug on your ear. All right. People hung wet sheets over their windows to prevent dust from blowing into their homes. Finally, the rains returned. Farmers could plant crops again. Oh my goodness, I see you guys tugging on your ears. Exactly. So that sentence, farmers could plant crops again, tells me that they were planting again, right? And the sentence before tells me why. It says, finally, the rains returned. So this is a cause and effect statement, right? So the rains returned, made it so that farmers were able to start planting again. So farmers were able to start planting crops again because the rains returned. Nice job. That one's a little tricky. Why questions are always a tiny bit harder, but we did a really good job figuring that out. All right. Kiss your brains, first grade. You guys did excellent work today answering those questions about that informational text. I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow so we can grow our brains some more together. Bye, Kipsters.